There we go. Okay, I'm just going to show you the troubleshooting side of the tech set that currently you haven't got, but you can see it on the latest version. So the layout is probably similar to what you've got, but you're on IDC 4, whereas the new software is IDC 5. So there's obviously more functionality, more capability, but it looks slightly different. So I'll just head into car. So it's the same category selection that you can make, but what you'll see on the left hand side is you've got manual identification, pass through, iSupport, solve problems. It's the solve problems, the web, it's web based, so we're going to need to get internet sorted for you on this, in some shape or form. But click on solve problems, and this is kind of similar to what you're talking about, is a place where you can put in the trouble codes and look for some answers. So for example here we've got solve problems and a free search, so we can try both. So I'll just click in there, we'll just bring up the keyboard and we'll put in a couple of P codes that I've just randomly found to put in. So for example that one. So we click on search, so it comes up with that. You can see it obviously it applies to a lot of different vehicles. So for example, throttle actuator, so I can click on that for the Volkswagen, for example. We've got the problem, detail of the code, symptoms, probable causes, and solution. Now I would guarantee that not every P code, U code, B code is in the system with a fix, but there will be a lot in there, and it's kind of improving all the time. So we'll try and just put another one in that I've found. So P0420. Okay, same again. So again, you can see we've got a few applications that would apply to. So again, we can click on one of those, and same deal. It'll give you a bit of information about what to check. Now this option, you can see it obviously on the left hand side here, but when you're actually in the vehicle and you've got the fault codes coming up, again there'll be a shortcut to be able to see that. So I'll just go on to one. I've just found a demo mode within the system that we can go into, just to sort of give you an idea as to how to access it. So you can see the format's slightly different to what you see now. You've got the global scan, you've got the different actions. So we've got standard vehicle maintenance, shortcuts, all the tests we can do, and any programming that we can do in the adjustments and coding. Down the left hand side is the usual stuff that you're after, the technical data sheets, the technical data and checks, wiring diagrams if we've got them, and the customer management side of it, which I'm not sure you know a great deal about, but it's more about keeping history of your customers' vehicles. So what we'll do, these Ds just mean I've got a demo mode, so I can click into here and we can pretend to be on the vehicle. Now it'll populate it with a few fault codes, or at least a few faults, and we can look at some live data as well. So we'll just give that a second to load up. Okay, so into the fault screen. So on the bottom right hand corner, if for whatever whichever fault it is, if any of these four squares light up, then it means there's a direct connection that you can go to. So you can click on the first one, which is wiring diagrams, so that will then take you to that specific component on the wiring diagram. You've got this 1, 2, 3 and a snowflake, which basically is your freeze frame data, which tends to be more Euro 5 and Euro 6 engines, but basically tells you what was going on with the engine the time the fault occurred. So it's quite a useful sort of x-ray of what was going on with the car. On the far right is it's a single question mark. You'll see that, for example, if I click into settings, you'll see just on this particular ABS system, basically it just gives you a bit of information as to what that setting is going to do, any advice, any guidance. Same with activations, you can see down here it's just going to tell you what what you're going to carry out. But also within the live data, you can see there's a lot of these are starting to appear. Now this is obviously 10 versions ahead of what you've got, but these question marks are in there. So for example, this will tell us, okay, so the display value increases when pressing the brake pedal. Fine. When the brake pedal released, the display value ranges approximately between 0.3 and 0.9 volts. So this is something they're really hammering now, or trying to get into the system, is that it's all very well seeing a reading, but unless you know the vehicle particularly well, you're not necessarily going to know that that's a good or bad reading. So they're starting to put more and more of these question marks in there. So all very helpful stuff. But just going back to the faults and the troubleshooting side of things. So for example, these are speed sensors, so it's pretty basic stuff anyway, but you can see I can click on the web button down in the bottom right hand corner. That then loads up that same troubleshooting forum that we looked at earlier. It populates everything it can here. Now there'll be a lot of things that are sort of related, some are vaguely related. You can see it's a wheel speed sensor, so it's unticked a lot of these because it's not specific to that, but we can pick up down here, you can see there's a few C codes that come up, but for example the yaw speed sensor, you can see again that will just give you those solved problems that you're after. So you can see it's within the system. When you're communicating, you're going to have access to that troubleshooting forum. Now I'm not going to guarantee by any means that every time you find a fault code, obviously you get a decent description, you can double click it, tells you how many times it's happened. I'm not going to guarantee that you click on that troubleshooting forum that it's going to have a fix, but it's something that they're working on quite heavily to try and improve. So yeah, that's it for that. Okay.